Yeah, okay, it's a deal.
Well done.
Let's get it paid for and get it home. Hello and welcome back to the Volks Wizard channel. Now, some of you may know I've been looking to replace my trusty 981 generation Porsche Boxster GTS with my real world dream car, the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. As you might have seen, I did pay a deposit for one but had to back out of the deal because I wasn't really happy with the paintwork. However, since then I've been looking really hard, and I'm pleased to report I have secured another. This time I am super happy with the paintwork, but as it stands I haven't actually test driven the car yet, which I'm hoping won't be a problem, because I'm just about to embark on a 3-hour train journey to Essex. I've only got a one-way ticket, so stick with me guys today to hopefully collect my real world dream car, the Porsche Cayman GT4. It's now the time in the video where I'd like to remind you guys how you can support the channel. The easiest way to do that is simply to subscribe. We're getting a lot of views from non-subscribers, and whilst it's brilliant to get those views, it's not great for the longevity of the channel. So if you like what you see, then please do subscribe. The other way to support the channel is to buy the car that this GT4 is replacing, my trusty 981 generation Boxster GTS, which I've had for getting on for 2 years and done just under 20,000 miles in. I really will miss that car, and it does pain me to advertise it on Auto Trader at below £40,000, particularly when Auto Trader said at £42,000 it was priced low, and that doesn't even take into account the options that it's got, because Auto Trader's ads aren't that clever that they know the spec of your car. So if you want a really good 981 generation Boxster GTS that's been used properly, it's done probably above average mileage for the car, but pretty low for its 9 years on the planet. It's done 47,500 miles. It's got a great spec with things like Porsche torque vectoring, which was really hard to find, and it was really hard to find a Cayman GT4 that was as good a spec as that car. It's such a good spec. So if you're interested, there are loads of videos in this channel's back catalogue, and get in touch with me directly via email, andrew@volkswizard.co.uk. Well guys, there she is, but before we talk about the car, let's talk about the dealership. So I'm buying this car from a company called Saxton 4x4. They're based in Chelmsford in Essex, so quite a long way, but I think it's been worth the effort. They specialise, as you can probably tell, in 4x4s, but they also have a nice line in Porsche sports cars. They hold about 800 cars in stock. The showroom's nice, but at the back there's a multi-storey car park that's just jam-packed with SUVs, and it's like millions of pounds worth, including SQ8s, RSQ8s. Never seen anything like it. Loads of Porsche Macans and Cayennes. It's just incredible. So if you're looking for an SUV, check them out. They have lots of stock, and they have to price them competitively, so I'm sure you'll get a pretty good deal, as I did with this car. Now, this car has been in stock here for 10 months, which doesn't sound good. What could be wrong with it? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll find out. It was owned by a guy in Colchester up the road. I'm guessing he either offered it to them directly and they offered him more than Porsche Colchester, where he bought it from, or it was on Auto Trader and they just snapped it up. There must be people scouring Auto Trader for cars, particularly local, you know, newish prestige and luxury cars, and they bought it. It was a lot more expensive originally. It was £78,000 when I bought it. It was the cheapest non-accident damaged 718 GT4. If you Google the reg, which is a local reg, by the way, Essex, you'll find a thread on Piston Heads where somebody went to see it, he asked for advice, and somebody put him off the car. It was at 80k, I think, at that point, it was dropped to 78, actually just after I rejected Pinky. In that thread you'll see somebody's talking about this lifting bit of PPF here, and they said don't buy it because of that. They said it's overdue a service as well, which is true. It should have been serviced just after they bought it, but they bought it, left it in the showroom and didn't service it. It's easy to do that, and they weren't going to pay Porsche for a service. Luckily they haven't touched it. The car is all original apart from one tyre, which was damaged, and that was replaced by Porsche. So this is basically as close to a brand new GT4 as you can get. And the good thing is, if you take it into Porsche for a service now, they will start the warranty up. It's got warranty to November, and then you can renew the warranty for just £690, which is what I'm going to do. So it might be overdue, but it's effectively a new car, as I will show you. So anyway, outside there's not a lot to talk about. It's Gars red. It was one of the free colours. I wanted a really bold colour, and red seems to be the easiest one to get at a decent price. It's got the satin black wheels. Other than that, it's standard out here. Oh, it's got the PDLS lights as well with the trick LEDs, which look really cool. What it has got out here, you probably can't tell, is front end PPF, so bonnet, bumper, wings, sills, mirrors, air intake, all the way to the quarter panel. Hence that bit that's lifting. That's a 1,500 quid I don't have to pay for. And yeah, it's stunning. They were very good here because I turned up twice without an appointment, and they just let me have a good look over it inside. I was on my knees underneath it, and nobody was rushing me or hassling me at all. And it was that inspection that made me pretty convinced I was buying a good car. I mean, look at the brake discs. They're like new. I've had my head under the car. It's all like new down there. 1,200 miles. It's only just been run in. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to do more miles today taking it home than it's been done after it was run in. Right, let's have a look inside. So the spec, it's not amazing, but it's good, and it's how you'd spec it if it was your own money and you wanted to actually use the car. So Pinky was Club Sport spec plus bucket seats. Pretty impractical. We've gone for practical now. I'd always wanted the bucket seats until I actually sat in them, and my god, you spend £4 and a bit grand on those, and they're really, really hard to get in and out of. They're slightly too upright for me as well, because you can't adjust the backrest. So we've got the standard seats, but we have got red stitching to liven them up. We've got Austin Metro, we've got Guards red seat belts. We've got the Race Tex lower dash, and we've got leather on the top. It was important to me that I didn't have a car that was inferior to my Boxster in any way, because that was such a lovely car, and this car aces that and a bit more. So we have got the all-important dual climates, which I wouldn't buy a car without. We've got cruise control, Bose, that's it, yeah, which I don't have on my car. I've got the fabric pulls because it's a GT car, but we've got all this red stitching. So if a GTI man was going to buy a GT4, this would be the car. We've got the Cup 2 tyres, which have got, like, you know, you imagine they're like brand new. One of them was replaced by Porsche because of damage, but there's a good 5mm on the back there, which is pretty much what they had from new. I can be convinced, unlike a lot of GT4s, that this car's never been on track. There is somebody who goes to a track day I go to regularly, and he gets the GT4 out of a transporter, drives it around track, puts it back. So that car would be super low mileage, but it would have been around a certain track quite a lot, and maybe you could tell by the brakes that it's been used that hard. Well, this is fresh as a daisy. So we got there in the end. Yeah, I'm surprised and just really over the moon that I've got a GT4 that actually I'm not going to be afraid to use. We've got PPF, we've got comfortable seats. Yeah, we do have one little extra actually that's a concession to the track use this car may or may not have, and that is a matching colour fire extinguisher. So the Porsche optional fire extinguisher, about 140 quid. But yeah, it's lovely in here. Okay, before we get too carried away though, I haven't actually test driven this car yet, and well, we know from Pinky that's probably a good idea. So whilst it all looks really good, I think we'd better get in the car with salesperson Ellie and go and take it for a run. Okay, this is the test drive that I've not had before. I'm with Ellie from Saxton.
Hello, hello.
Ellie's a bit of a car buff.
Yeah.
There aren't many car salespeople that will talk to you about a Mark II Golf camshaft in the conversations, so it's been a refreshing surprise coming here to buy this car. So
at least you knew you was in safe hands as far as like car knowledge goes.
Yeah.
So you bumped into the right person, because it wasn't actually originally meant to be your salesperson, was
No,
I?
you went on holiday, didn't you, Mason? Yeah,
so it worked out well in the end.
Yeah, so we best get the engine going because it's really hot today. It's 27 degrees. Press the clutch.
Clutch in.
I'm just used to automatics. Yeah, it's been a while since I've driven a manual Porsche. Don't worry, I do drive manual cars.
That's okay. I must admit, the first time I drove my manual Porsche, it took me a really long time to adjust to that particular car. I feel like that car is what gave me so much respect for like real drive manual heavy clutch cars. Like, great fun though. Really great fun. Yeah, not only is Ellie somebody who's restored a Mark II Golf, but Ellie also drives a 997 911. Yeah, well, you couldn't really write it,
so
you?
Perfect.
It's worked out well.
It's not a Porsche main dealership, but I feel I've had a better experience so far.
This is good. This is what we want. This is what we strive for.
Right, let's get this test drive done, and then at least I know what I'm buying then, because at this point the most important bit I haven't done, but yeah, I haven't really given you much notice of my visits in the past, so that's understandable. And
it was tucked up front of the showroom,
which is good.
The type of car that it is as well.
It was great because I could walk around it at leisure, but obviously it's harder to get it out with a big Rolls Royce in front of it.
Yeah, a couple of Rolls Royces in the way.
Right, electric parking brake, which should come off if I'm a good boy with my seatbelt on.
There we go.
Right, and be very careful here.
So you know where you're going, which is good.
It's going to be really difficult for me because I'm used to a car with a bit of frontal ground clearance.
Yeah, I know.
But it feels the same inside.
Yeah.
At least the steering wheel's different, so I can kind of remember that I'm
in a different car.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
it's just taking the right angle as you're going up those slight inclines. That is the worst sound in the world.
That could be a bit tricky on my driveway though.
Oh really?
You can only approach it from one angle. Right, this is the roundabout then. So if we take a right here, let's get the aircon on auto. That's good. Yeah, it's so familiar. This steering wheel's a bit different. The gauges are pretty much identical. Obviously we've got this thing here. Keep fit gear shifter.
Yes, and Alcantara.
I love the red stitching though. It just brightens up the cabin.
Just the door handles. It all pulls together. Alcantara roof lining.
And the A-pillars, which you don't get on Alcantara trimmed Boxsters. It's like a scratchy plastic.
It just feels plush.
Yeah. I looked at another one, and it was a lot more expensive. It had things like ceramic brakes. And it had plastic glove box and dashboard.
Just lets itself down.
Well, it's not really that 90 grand car it was advertised as. I'm looking forward to getting up to 70 miles an hour because the one I did test drive, I wasn't filming that, but at 70 it made a bit of a bad noise.
Oh really?
Yeah, but that car was on its second clutch at 8,000 miles, so
that's,
we shall find out if it's a characteristic or...
or if it's the fault with that particular one. Well, it shouldn't have been on second clutch that quickly.
But it's a press car, so...
Well, actually,
if you watch the videos of it...
of what they do with them.
They're doing like 0 to 60 times, drifting, track timing. So, here we go, 53.
That's your 60, 70 mark.
It's fine.
Got your exhaust button as well.
Yeah.
Can't forget about that.
No. We'll save that. I'll save that for another time. The basics are important on a test drive. And you know, this is the antithesis of the press car. It's a one-owner car. It's a local car. I'm sure it's not been wiped down in a gritty lay-by in Wales for a photo shoot.
Hopefully not.
It's got PPF on it, which is something Porsche should do to their press cars, but don't. So, it's
pretty immaculate, this car. Obviously it wouldn't be front and centre of our showroom if it was anything but in particular you could just tell the person who had this, the way they spec'd it, the PPF that they've put on it, it's just spot on.
And he was a Porsche Club GB member as well.
Even the stack of paperwork we brought out, I feel like that was what just sold it, really.
Yeah, it's good on any car, but with this kind of, with a Porsche, it's important. With a GT car,
well,
yeah,
absolutely.
as I'm sure you know, with your car.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty happy then. So, one last run, 70. Yeah.
You can just feel that, like, it wants to go. That pull away is so instant. And like being mid-engine as well, I feel like makes all the difference with the handling of this car. It is a driver's car, and I'm so glad like manual cars are still being built.
They are, yeah. You can't order one of these anymore, but you can order a GTS with a manual, which is close enough.
I saw a Porsche article today actually, and it said something along the lines of Porsche will be making combustion engines for as long as they can.
Yeah.
I think, well done to Porsche.
Indeed. Well, the electric Boxster's out very soon now, 2025.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, they didn't exactly hit bullseye with the 4-cylinder Boxsters back in 2016, so it's going to be interesting. They don't always get things right, but with this car,
of course.
yeah, okay, it's a deal.
Well done.
Let's get it paid for and get it home.
Good, I'm glad you're happy.
Well, that was actually a better experience than I expected from Saxton. They sell a lot of cars, and that can be really bad because they just can't cope, or they have to be really slick to sustain that level of selling, and it seems to be the latter. That was a really good experience. It's been probably the best buying from a dealer I've ever had, and the car was really, really good value for money. There was a bit of negotiation where I said I'll just get the warranty from Porsche when I get the service done, and they allowed a bit for the service, and they weren't going to actually do the warranty, but they seemed to have supplied me with 3 months, which is better than nothing. So that will stand me until I get the service done, and then I'll be on the Porsche warranty for a year, and the car will be effectively as good as if I bought it from Porsche. The only little grey area is because it was in here for a long time, the battery went flat, and they just replaced it with another one, which is fine, but with Porsche warranty you have to have a bloody Porsche battery, even though Porsche don't make batteries, so I've allowed for that as well. I'm still well under what I'd pay from a Porsche main dealer, and unlike buying from an auction, you know, once I've got the warranty I'll be in exactly the same position as if I'd bought from them, and the condition of the car is actually, I'd imagine, better in many ways. So yeah, now we just need to go somewhere special. I could drive down the A12, M25, M40 and get home. There's somewhere I've really wanted to go to that's just 38 miles from here, and I've set Waze via Apple CarPlay to take us straight there. So let's go for our first drive in my Cayman GT4. That's the other thing this car's got. Rear parking sensors, which is another thing that I had to have. The Boxster's got fronts, but you can't actually get a GT4 with fronts, so that's a bit like impossible to do. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The front's easy anyway, it's the backs that are much harder to park. Got to remember that splitter though. This one is already pre-scuffed, which is fine by me. There's a little bit of damage to it. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it up my driveway, so stay tuned for that. Let's see if I can get this Cayman GT4 up my driveway without scuffing the splitter. Right, it's kind of like 20 to 5, so it's quite busy, but we're heading away from the traffic hopefully, so it should be a great drive. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And we've got auto blip as well. It's a very tractable engine. That's fourth. That's 3,000 RPM. I think I can live with that. Okay, we're 90 minutes in. I've only done 43 miles. That's because the traffic's been really bad, but it's been a real baptism of fire for the GT4 because we've been sat in traffic and it's been really easy to drive. The clutch is light, the biting point's natural, the shift is great. So yeah, CarPlay's working, the Bose stereo's lovely, aircon's blowing cold on the hottest day of the year. everything's hunky-dory. Not what it's designed to do, but if you're driving to the Ring, if you're driving to the south of France, if you're driving to the Alps, you will hit traffic. You might have been driving all day, you don't want it to be too taxing, so that is good. The ride is quite firm, and I expected that because I've just given the Boxster GTS 4 litre back to Porsche, and that was firmer than I thought, but I'm okay with that. There's a lot of road noise, particularly on coarse surfaces. That's Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, unfortunately. But it's not terrible, and we've got bows to try and get over that. So yeah, so far, so good. Well, the destination for my first drive in the GT4 is the port of Harwich, which is just across the water from Felixstowe, which is somewhere I come to quite a lot. There's a lovely little cafe there by the containers. Doesn't sound good, but trust me, it's really, really good, and you've got a great view. But it's kind of hard to get to Harwich from there unless you get on the ferry. So I figured, seeing as I got the car in Chelmsford, I just come up here. It's got to be better than driving on the M25 in your first drive in a GT4. And there's a boat there, the Steno, which usually comes in the evenings, is just turning into the harbour there. So yeah, it looks like a cool little place, lovely little beach down there. It's a bloody good looking car, bearing in mind it's based on a Cayman. You've got the stance with the wheels sticking out, you've got the front splitter sticking out, the wing. It just looks amazing. I can't believe this is my car. I've spent so much time on trying to buy one of these. It's been like a project, not a car purchase. Now, the advert from Saxton was okay, but it didn't really tell you enough. Didn't tell you it was a one-owner car. Didn't tell you it was a nerdy bloke. But there we are, no former keepers. It's luxury car tax, unfortunately, for a couple more years, but there we go. I've got the brochure, which I nearly bought on eBay. That came with the car. I've got this Porsche Club GB folder, which, as you can imagine, doesn't have much in it because it's such a new car. But I've got the original order form there, so that's really nice to have. The original logbook. All the things that mean a lot with any car, but particularly with a Porsche, and particularly with a Porsche GT car. Right, it's great coming here, but the only problem is I've got to get home, and that's 3 hours away, so it's going to be a real test of this car's cruising ability, and then we can find out if I can get it up my driveway. So yeah, let's get on the A15 and get home. Well guys, I've been driving for 5.5 hours. I'm pretty much back home, and the thing that's been bugging me about a GT4 is whether it'll go up my driveway. It could be quite a problem really if it can't, not least because I've insured it to be on my driveway. I haven't got nose lifts, not even an option. There is an aftermarket solution. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It's not that steep. Yeah, that is very, very good. A very good thing. Okay, now it's a week later and I've done just under 400 miles in my Cayman GT4. I've really enjoyed them, but I haven't been able to enjoy them to the fullest because, as I said earlier, the car was overdue its first service. Naturally, I rang around Porsche centres to try and get the car in, and they were talking about 4 weeks before they could do the work, and that's a really long time when you really want to just drive your new car. But luckily, the guys here at Porsche Solihull managed to get me in within the week, and I'm just collecting it after that service has been performed. I'm really pleased to report that they've given it a clean bill of health. The warranty, the original 3-year warranty, is still valid until the 5th of November, and at that point I just pay about £700 and it can be extended for a year, so total peace of mind. There were two things that had to be done. One was really cheap. There was a clip for the battery cover that had been bent, and related to that I had to replace the battery. Saxton had put in a lovely Bosch AGM battery, really expensive, but for Porsche warranty you have to have a Porsche battery. But now they very happily sell this car as a Porsche approved car. I think that's a real endorsement of its quality. So I can now start enjoying it. Big thanks to you for supporting the channel and allowing me to share this car with you. If there's anything you want me to tell you about this car, to make a video on, then I'll happily do that. I know there's been a lot of press coverage on the Cayman GT4. It's an old car, but I don't think there are that many owner reports out there, not from the UK anyway. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and I'll see you for the next one very soon. And big thanks to Gareth and the team here at Porsche Solihull for getting my Cayman GT4 serviced so quickly.